So this killer strategy that I've come across is an absolute game changer. It's been delivering some insane results, boosting a whopping 74% win rate over 100 trades in just 9 weeks. And get this, it's brought an impressive 131% profit with a solid profit factor of 4.27. Trust me, I know it sounds almost too good to be true, but the numbers speak for themselves. Now, I know you might be a little worried about the risk involved, but let me put your mind at ease. The max drawdown on this bad boy is a mere 1.99%. That's right, under 2%. Plus, we've seen 6 consecutive winning trades against only 2 consecutive losses. That's some seriously impressive winning potential right there. And if you're looking for a dependable high win rate strategy to add to your trading arsenal, you should definitely give this one a shot. So now, let's take a peek at the Bitcoin 15-minute chart and see this strategy in action. It uses a powerful combination of multiple indicators to generate buy and sell signals that'll help you make the most out of your trades. So we're going to be using an indicator called pivot trend lines with breaks in this strategy. And it's a breeze to add it to your chart. Just head over to the top of the platform and click on the indicator section. In the search bar, go ahead and type in pivot trend lines with breaks and hit enter. Once you find it in the results, just click on it and it'll be added to your chart. Easy peasy, right? The Snifty indicator is going to analyze the pivot points on your chart and automatically draw trend lines based on them. Plus, it'll even give you buy and sell signals right on the chart. But before we dive in, I suggest making a few adjustments to the indicator settings to make sure it suits your needs perfectly. Just pop open the settings window and in the input section, you'll want to change the pivot length to 21. Then make sure the pivot type is set to normal. Now, here's the crucial part. We need to disable the repainting option, so drawings don't change after the candles close. Also, go ahead and disable the target levels option while you're there. Next up, let's change the bear break and bull break options to make them more visible on the chart. After that, scroll down and set the source option to close. Now we can jump over to the style tab, where we'll change the bearish breakout to below bar and bullish breakout to above bar. With all these adjustments in place, you're good to go with a fine-tuned pivot trend lines with breaks indicator that'll make it a lot easier to analyze your chart and spot those buy and sell opportunities. Alright, so now you can see that the pivot trend line indicator is drawing those helpful trend lines above and below candles, and it's even giving you signals on the chart when a bearish or bullish move happens. Pretty cool, right? But hold your horses. You might have noticed that sometimes the indicator gives you signals that don't quite match up with the overall trend of the market. I know, it can be a little confusing, but don't worry, I've got a solution for that. Let's head on back to the top of the platform and click on the indicator sections one more time. And this time we're going to add the Impulse MACD indicator. Just type Impulse MACD in the search bar and hit enter. And look for the one by the lazy bear and search results. Once you find it, click on it and it will be added to your chart. The Impulse MACD is a modified version of the classic MACD and it's designed to filter out values within a moving average range, which helps reduce those pesky whipsaws that tend to pop up in sideways markets. But let's optimize it for our strategy by tweaking the settings a bit. Open up the settings window and in the style tab, you'll want to change the midline opacity and thickness. Next, move on to the Impulse MACD option and change it columns. Then switch the bar 0 to green, set the color 1 option opacity to 0 and change the color 2 to red. After that, set the opacity of color 3 to 0. Now disable the Impulse Histo and Impulse MACD signal options. Once you've done that, set the bar color option to green, white, red and white respectively. Moving on to the Inputs tab. Change the length MA to 100, but don't worry about the length signal settings. Just make sure to enable the bar color option. And that's it. You're all set with the Impulse MACD indicator, perfectly customized for our strategy. So let's take a look at how these indicators work together and how to read the signals they're giving you. First up, we have a trend line sitting nicely below the candles, and the pivot trend line indicator has printed a bearish breakout signal on the chart. But hold your horses. Before you jump into the trade, we need to check out what the Impulse MACD indicator is telling us. You can see that there's no histogram showing up in the Impulse MACD oscillator, which means we shouldn't enter any trades just yet. No buying or selling for now. So we'll go ahead and ignore this sell signal. Now let's move on to the next example. Here we got a green trend line above the candles and boom, we've got ourselves a bullish breakout. But remember, we need confirmation before pulling the trigger on the trade. Time to check in with our trusty Impulse MACD indicator again. You can see that the histogram is there and it's looking mighty green, which means our buy signal is confirmed and you're good to go ahead and open up the buy position on the chart. As for managing your risk, you can set your stop loss just a bit below the most recent swing low. So you've got a safety net in case the trade doesn't go as planned. And when it comes to setting your profit target, a good rule of thumb is to aim for 1.5 times the risk you're taking on the trade. So now let's briefly discuss the sell trade scenario. If you see a red trend line sitting below the candles and the pivot trend line indicator prints a bearish breakout signal, it's time to check the Impulse MACD. If the histogram is there and it's red, your sell signal is confirmed and you can proceed to open a sell position on the chart. To manage risk, set a stop loss slightly above the recent swing high and a profit target 1.5 times the trade risk. Alright, let's dig a little deeper into the strategy by taking a look at some more examples. Here you can see there's a bearish breakout on the chart, but hold up, let's not get too hasty. Check the Impulse MACD indicator. Since it's not red, the signal is filtered out and we won't be taking the trade. Moving on to the next signal. We've got another bearish breakout, but it looks like the Impulse MACD conditions haven't changed and there's still no red histograms. So we'll set this one out too. But take a look at the next signal. We've got ourselves a bullish breakout and this one's looking good because the Impulse MACD histogram is green, which means it's confirmed signal and a potential profit opportunity. So we go ahead and take this trade. As you can see, it's important to always cross-check with the Impulse MACD indicator to make sure the signals is confirmed before jumping into a trade. This strategy can help you filter out less reliable signals and focus on higher quality trade setups for better overall trading results.